So for the past 4 years, I've been studying Greenfield, Massachusetts cabinet maker Daniel Clay. And Daniel Clay is really a great subject to study here at Historic Deerfield because we have the largest collection of his furniture, and a lot of it is either labeled or firmly documented to his shop. Daniel Clay was born in 1770 in New London, Connecticut. He comes to Greenfield, Massachusetts by May of 1792, where he first shows up in a town meeting. And Daniel Clay is part of a group of craftsmen who follow a professional class of people who come to Greenfield as it's becoming a more established industrial center. You have people like lawyers and businessmen and merchants who are really coming to Greenfield in greater numbers in the 1790s. And you have artisans like Samuel Pierce and Daniel Clay and many others coming from Connecticut to provide the material goods for this professional class of people. So Daniel Clay very quickly becomes established in Greenfield. He's showing up at town meetings, he's involved in civic activities, he's one of the founding members of one of the largest churches in Greenfield, and also he marries very well very quickly. In 1795 he marries Lucinda Smead Clay, who's a member of the extended Smead family of Deerfield, Greenfield, and other areas in western Massachusetts. And so he really establishes himself quickly, and his shop, which was on Federal Street right down near the Common, was very active, and he advertised widely. He is a prolific advertiser. His ads are really extraordinary because we don't have any of his account books or any letters by Clay. We have his voice in his ads, and they're really delightful to read through. He doesn't use the same language twice. He was a very inventive advertiser. So a little bit of a case study here, no pun intended, of Daniel Clay. So we have here this fabulous Oxbow chest of drawers. We also have over here a simpler chest of drawers. So Oxbow, that describes the shape, this beautiful dynamic shape of the front of the case. And this piece, this is the Cadillac. This is the fanciest piece of Clay furniture that we know of. So why is it fancy? Not only does it have this undulating shape, it has these applied fluted quarter columns with these lamb's tongues. What's a lamb's tongue? It's this ornament right here, which is something that Clay favors. You can see it on other examples of his furniture. And finally, we have this gadroon ornament down here on the skirt or the apron, flanked by two flared French feet. And this gadrooning that again adds a sense of movement. It's something that's probably adapted from metalwork, and furniture makers used it. It's almost like a twisted rope motif. Furniture makers use this. It's definitely it's a more expensive option. I think it nicely complements the shape and the molded shape of the top. What's really great about Daniel Clay is that his construction technique is unique. That doesn't happen very often. So one of the mysteries about Daniel Clay is with whom and where he trained. You don't really know. I suspect it was probably somewhere in Connecticut, maybe eastern Connecticut, possibly Rhode Island. I'm not exactly sure. So you can see here this wonderful large label by Clay. So what's unique about his case construction? You see, we have the backboard here the backboard is set into grooves on the top and sides of the case. Wait, it gets better. You can see this chamfer or this bevel here on the back of this board is complemented by another chamfer or bevel here on the backboard. And you can see that the top is attached, it's dovetailed to the side of the case. Vertical backboard set into grooves on the top and side with these chamfered edges is a unique characteristic of Clay. It's allowed me to attribute a couple of pieces that are not labeled or marked by Clay to him. So if this is the fanciest version of this form, here's a much more plain version, which has, again, the exact same characteristics I described on this chest of drawers. And this one is labeled, interestingly, in the top. And Daniel Clay must have had great glue. And I say that because his labels survive even in places like the top of this drawer intact. So for example, Duncan Phyfe, a very well-known cabinet maker in New York, also used paper labels, but most of them fell off. Only 9 still survive on his furniture. We have many more than 9 paper labels that are still affixed to Daniel Clay's furniture. So while these pieces have been refinished and the color has changed, it's gotten lighter over time, this piece uses the exact same materials brass, cherry, yellow poplar, basswood as secondary woods. You can see it's plain. That's not to say doesn't have an attractive quality to it, but it doesn't have all of those bells and whistles that you saw on the oxbow. What does that tell us about Daniel Clay? Is that he was sensitive to his customers. They're following on that idea that he was advertising widely and prolifically and with lots of different language, changing his ads around, advertising in different places. But he was also sensitive to the fact that not everyone could afford this Cadillac. So he made a Chevrolet version as well. Exact same function, exact same form, exact same materials, but being able to satisfy demands of different kinds of consumers.